was clearly a shot at Chandler Parsons. Chandler responded, saying, "It's wild to me that someone who has been in my shoes knows how hard it is to get here and knows how bad injuries suck to hate so hard. You're mad I can provide for my family? I don't love the game because I had 3 knee surgeries. You make no sense and sound bitter. NBA is a brotherhood. Stop hating." Steven,
my first line, we're not brothers.
Yes. Yeah.
First of all.
You guys kept going back and forth. So what's your take on what he said?
Well, first of all, shout out to Coach Fizz. I think he got dealt the raw deal. Anytime you go to war, you need soldiers.
Right.
They took all his soldiers. Zach gone, Tony Allen gone. He has no soldiers. So he's left with the blame. With Chandler, to whom much is given, much is required. I think if you put Draymond on Memphis and give him $100 million and they don't win, they're going to kill Draymond. They're gonna scrutinize him to death. I haven't said one thing about Chandler Parsons. He hasn't been playing well. Play well. You get $100 million, you should play well. Me personally, I love the game of basketball. It's done a lot for my family. It's done a lot for my life.
Right.
I've always played it with a certain passion that's been unmatched for a long time.
Right.
And you still do.
We came up 2 different ways. So when I say that we are not similar at all and we are not brothers, it's because we have 2 different upbringings. And newsflash, all basketball players not cool. All basketball players don't hang together. I can count my basketball friends who I consider my brothers on my 2 hands. So everybody's not cool. So the brotherhood is blown out of proportion because I was scrutinized by a lot of players when I was playing.
Right.
When I went in the stands and decided to have runs back,
Right.
a lot of players said I should have been in the NBA.
Right.
So the brotherhood is not what people say. So Chandler Parsons, what it all boils down to, play better, do a better job, and earn your money. And that's what he's not doing. And if he felt that I took a shot at him, because I did. Because he's not the only guy that makes $100 million that's not playing well. But he's not getting scrutinized like other guys would. And this is all what it boiled down to. The truth hurts. and even with Marc Gasol, he's one of the best big men in the league, no question. But look at the big men we have, the 7-footers we have now. They're getting triple doubles. They're playing point guard. Mark's not doing that. His shooting percentage has dropped. So he has to take some of the blame, too.
Right.
And that's what people are not saying.
How much of this is Coach Fizdale and Marc Gasol having a relationship that's irreparably harmed, and you can't continue down this path if there's no chance of reconciliation?
Well, anytime you're not winning, everything magnifies. Everything blows up. The littlest arguments can be
They
big.
just went to the playoffs last year.
They fired Lionel Hollins right after they made the Western Conference Finals.
They did.
So obviously they're not making the right decisions
Okay.
in the office.
Right.
We're giving Chandler Parsons $100 million after 2 knee surgeries. How many players you know can get $100 million after 2 knee surgeries?
Nah. And that was my only thing. My thing is that he had these damaged knees in Dallas. So, and for Memphis to come on and give him $23 million a year, and he's playing slightly about 20 minutes a game, averaging 8 points a game.
Yep.
Skip, that's not good enough. That's not good enough.
Not good enough.
That's what fans would say.
I am no Chandler Parsons fan, as many people know from old
He can
days.
dress the Skip.
I'm giving
Kenny
him that.
Stack.
He's a good person, great guy, but
Well,
I don't like him as a basketball
Do
player.
you know him a little bit?
I don't know him at all.
Okay, all right. So the problem is with the Memphis management, I have no idea what possessed them to give him $100 million. When I look back at his injury history, it's been one thing after another
Yes.
with both knees. It's back and forth and back. It's too long to read the list of all the games he's missed, and his games have fallen steadily from his second year till now. They just drop. And you just gave him $100 million going back 2 years ago to do what? To get hurt again? Because he's been hurt. And he's been ineffective this year because his knees look creaky. He doesn't look like he's the same guy.
No.
He had one good year. It was his contract year in Houston early on, and he averaged, 17, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. That's that's a max for him. That's what he is. That's what Memphis thought it might get, like it's closing its eyes saying if we could get 17, 6, and 4, which is decent. Is it $100 million worth?
No.
No, but in that market.
take it.
That would, well, if he put up those numbers,
Yeah, it's
good for him.
That's worth $100 million.
Okay.
Yes.
Is he a soldier?
No.
Is Tony Allen a soldier? You better believe it.
Is Zach Randolph a soldier?
Would they fight you? Ask the Spurs about the fights they've had in the playoffs. Not literal fights, but
Yeah.
just the battles they've had in the playoffs with that group. And yet, I'm a big Fizdale guy. I raved about him last year. I thought he was the breakout coaching star of last year's playoffs, even though it just went 6 games with the Spurs. But they were hellacious hard games that went to the wire each time. And it took miraculous shots by Tony Parker and some big threes by Kawhi Leonard to survive that series. But the point is, as much as I believe in Fizdale, as it's ironic, he's a player's coach, but he began to clash with the best player on the team. Now, I'm with you. Has Mark lived up?
No.
Could he? He's one who could average 10 assists. I mean, he's capable. He's a really good
He
passer.
got a $113 million contract too, Skip.
Okay.
So he's making over 20 a year. So he needs to put up Boogie Cousins and Anthony Davis type numbers.
Yep.
Well, and even that, you know, we talk about Fizz, but okay, how long has Paxson been in Chicago? Well, how much have they won? He still has a job.
Right.
Even in New Orleans, he has 2 of the best big men in the game. They're not winning. He still has a job. You know, I think
They need to
Fizz
give us Boogie Cousins.
got dealt the raw situation, and he's liked by a lot of guys because, like I say, he's a player's coach.
Yeah, and I appreciate the fact that LeBron and Dwayne Wade stepped up. Was it on Twitter? I guess
Yeah.
it was. That they stepped up and had his back on Twitter and said, "We need some some answers here." Okay, yeah, everybody needs some answers, but all I know for sure is that he really ticked off Marc Gasol on it was Sunday. Against the Nets they're playing. They end up losing by, I think, 10. And he pulled him in the third quarter and then didn't play him in the fourth quarter. And you know and I know, if you cross that line, and after the game, Marc Gasol, the PR guy, tried to pull him away from the media scrum, and he said, "No, I'm not finished." And he went on and on and on about how, I guess he doesn't value me. I can't tell you how upset I am over this. And I guess it just burned the bridge to the ground where Marc Gasol said, okay, it's him or me. Because it'd been going on for a while between the two of them. And you know and I know, usually a young coach is going to lose that battle,
Yes.
right?
Yes, a young coach is definitely going to lose that battle. But with being a star, much is required. Tim Duncan. It's been times where I've seen Greg Popovich pull Tim Duncan because Tim didn't do what he was asked, and Tim didn't finish the game. And either whether we won the game or not, Pop stuck to his guns. But Tim respected that. We're talking about the best power forward of all time.
Right.
So some kind of way, you have to be on the same page to win and to be successful in any organization.
Stacks, you know now guys are into their feelings.
Oh yeah.
Because we saw it last year. We saw it twice in the playoffs. The Cavs came back from 26 against Indy with 25-26 against Indy. They came back from like 20 against Toronto. And Kyrie and Kevin Love barely played in the fourth quarter. But it was
Especially Kevin Love. They would just sit him.
Because think about how they pull Kevin Love at any given time. Kevin Love might play 10 minutes. But he's like, hey, I'm not getting the job done. But now guys like, if I make $20 million, even if I'm not getting the job done, I need to be on the court. Because it's disrespectful for you to sit me on the bench when I'm supposed to be the guy and I'm not doing my job. When you got a minus 18, why am I still playing you in these back? The second unit is bringing us back. Marc Gasol, he sees himself as the guy.
He does. And remember, he basically grew up. He played high school basketball in Memphis, so Memphis watched him grow up, and he's their guy. And Fizz is going to lose that one, even though I said earlier, I gained respect for Fizz as he got fired. And I believe because Pop stepped up and spoke out for him and said he deserves another shot sooner than later, he's going to get another head coaching shot. I will bet you, and I'll bet you it'll be a success wherever he lands.
He will.
But how much are you going to think about it in Memphis? How much are you really going to win? Are you really going to be a serious threat with the power the way it's assembled now in the West?
They knew they wasn't going to win when they traded Zach and they traded Tony Allen. That organization was going downhill. You got to think about it. Mark has not looking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
If Kevin Love don't play well in Cleveland, you have 2-3 guys that you can replace and put in to fill this spot and that can come in and compete and play defense better.
Right. So
you don't have that
I'll
Memphis.
be comfortable and happy.
Mark, he can play good or play bad. You still got to play him, and that's the situation the coach was in.
Well, they got to do something with Chandler. I don't know. Well, they stuck with Chandler Parsons. Nobody is taking that contract.
Mark Cuban will. That's the boy.
No,
that's Mark Cuban boy.
He ain't taking that one. Mark that's what. Hey, Mark wouldn't go to that $23 million because he could have easily matched what
he could have easily matched you. Sure,
but he wasn't no fool. He said, "I'll be a fool, but I ain't gonna be a D fool."
And
let him walk.
And I just say that it's not personal, but the way I love the game, when I see people not approaching the game and playing the way it should be played, as a fan, I speak up whether they like it or not.
Gotta keep it real. He did not like it though.
Well, we in UK be hanging because, you know, Chandler be hanging out here in LA and I can't catch no, you know.
Trouble.
Yeah.
What is wrong with